Sir Shagaiv, a Kharja, August Kamradaha. A new year, 2026. It's only a couple of days into it now. And people saying Happy New Year. Well, it's hardly happy now, is it? Fucking horrendously cold in many parts of the world. The government don't give a shit, so people are going to freeze to death. And onto the point of the current breaking news of today, when the fascist junta of the United States of America, under the more mask off for fascist version of it, Donald Trump, decided to invade, like the bullish, thuggish war hawk that he is, decided to invade Venezuela. Of course, this has been on the cards for a long time. He's openly said in countless interviews how they've been seizing the oil from allegedly Venezuelan ships off the coast of the US. And what are you going to do with it? Well, probably going to just keep it, as he said, smart, slimily. They've been stealing oil and then having the fucking gall to say that Venezuela is stealing American oil. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is like stealing Palestinian homes and then saying, oh, the Palestinians are stealing it off us. Can you see the pattern here? Western white supremacy and racism and fascism. Of course, the Democrats haven't condemned this, and they won't. And the British left hasn't condemned it. And, well, the British left, I say Starmer's not the left. Black shirt Starmer has not condemned it. So strange change of tune compared to what happened when Russia, equally wrongly, invaded Ukraine. And this crap about all this, every right-wing fascist rabble-rouser in the UK and in the US are traitors to their countries under Putin's puppet strings and all this crap. Now, the Russian Federation's a right-wing bloody proto-wing. Well, it's a minor imperial power that wants to become more imperialist. It had its tentacles in Venezuela. Maduro had it, should be held accountable for that. Fair enough. He does not. There's no evidence that he's been running with drug cartels. And was it sponsoring terrorism? And this is again coming from the United States. Fucking hell, look at yourselves, will you? And the UK and the fucking European Union and all of these fuckers. Terrorism is a very useful tool, like piracy was in the old days. You know, the swashbuckling 18th century. They'd have these criminals, attacking ships, and they were usually in the pay of rival empires. Same goes with this: terrorist regimes and terrorist organizations. We know that the Taliban was well, they weren't directly funded by the CIA, but they basically what was there before them, which was the Mujahideen and then later Al Qaeda, were trained and sponsored by them. Islamic State, similar to the Taliban, didn't come about directly from, as far as I know, from CIA and MI6 sponsorship, but they were the results of it, and they were most of its members were former members. I think a lot of its members, at least, were former members of Al Qaeda, which was trained and sponsored by Western imperial terror spy organizations and such as the CIA and MI6, etc. Then there's the false flags. But anyway, they couldn't use false flags against Maduro. He didn't actually do anything violent. But what they do is they just accuse him of being a drug baron. If anyone is in cahoots with the drug barons and the drug dealers in the United States, well, look at Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug baron, who was, I believe, sponsored by the CIA to basically flood the ghettos, flood the poor areas of Colombia with drugs. And we do know he was working with the CIA. I don't know exactly what he is. I can't remember exactly what he's done, but we do know that's true. So, of course, the USA is projecting once again, as is all of these other white Western imperial bastards. Now, BRICS, which includes China, India, and Russia, apart from Putin making some token criticism of this, which means nothing because it's just one empire criticizing another. Where is BRICS? Why are they not springing to the defense and issuing action against the United States for this blatant violation of international law? Where are they? They're nowhere to be seen. Maybe I think what is likely is that these BRICS members like China and Russia will just quite happily just deal with whatever fascist regime comes in next. I mean, at the minute, we have it's under direct occupation from fascist America, much like Nazi Germany occupying France, northern France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and Norway and lots of other countries, Denmark too. They'll probably claim that they'll put in a democratic government, which just means a puppet, a Gusano regime of racist puppetry. They might not. They might just keep it under occupation and make it the 52nd state of America. Wouldn't that be interesting, eh? You can never be sure. It's early days. I think it does say, as a friend of mine, guys, Alec, shout out to you, said in a social media post, this you could just argue is shows how international law means nothing. How diplomacy is going to be thrown out the window because it's nothing more than a veneer anyway. And this could be a very dangerous time when a lot of us are going to get killed, myself included, quite likely, because they come for people like us, where we become terrorist suspects and so on. Like I say, terrorism now includes saying death to America, or we long live Turtle Island, saying anything anti-American makes you a terrorist suspect. Chanting pro-Palestinian slogans in the UK makes you get arrested for terrorism, and saying that you support a certain group that puts red paint. I mean, such a dangerous act. Pouring red paint on war machines. Terrorism. Meanwhile, this Al-Jolani character in Syria, who has been known to have been involved in beheading people, is a democratic leader. He's our boy now, much like Bin Laden was up until he became the chief pariah and international enemy number one. It's dystopian. It really is, and I despair at where things are going. I hope something gets. I hope this will make people wake up. But I think with the amount of like fucking media, soma, if you will, as Brave New World put it, media opiates, they're probably just going to sit around and say, "Oh, yeah, but he was a dictator. Yeah, but no, but what about, and so on and so forth." I've heard people saying that the people of Venezuela are cheering and rejoicing at the loss of a dictator. I've seen other videos of less white-looking and less rich-looking ones screaming in the streets saying, "Long live the Bolivarian Revolution." Whatever you say about Maduro, and you could say we could give with some justification say that he'd sold out to Russia. He's infinitely better than anything that's going to replace him. We know that. As my friend Geyserek said again as well, this could be very detrimental to the United States because it can't play the good guy anymore. I mean, we know what America is. I mean, this is make America great again. It's mask off America. The liberals are saying, "Oh, no, this isn't America. This isn't America. We're not like this." Oh, no. I said, look, America, the United States, not to mention Canada and all of the places, all of those colonies were set up by genocide. The USA was probably the worst, but Canada too, Mexico also, all of them. They're all, most of the names are colonial settlers. They're all white supremacists. People associate them with whiteness. That's before you even get into chattel slavery. I mean, how can you say America can be redeemed? The USA is a cancer. So is Canada. So is the UK. So is the EU. They're all empires. So is Russia. And dare I even say, I'm sure I'm going to offend a bunch of communists saying that China has pretty much, it's going to soon. I wonder if they're going to change the red flag and replace it with a more nationalistic looking one, because they're about as communist now as the Bank of Bloody England. They've got billionaires and landlords and chief communist party roles, including Xi Jinping. And anyone saying that this guy's going to come and save you, fucking wake up, for Christ's sake. This is a very bleak video, and I didn't really want to talk like this at the beginning of the year. But what else can I say? I try not to be a doomer, but I find it very hard not to be, because the left is in tatters, and the empire is running wild. All I can say is, if I was a religious person, I'd pray, but I don't. I'm an atheist, but I do offer. I think about and I offer solidarity to the people of Venezuela, not the fucking right wing gusanos who are, that Nobel Peace Prize winner, who said she wanted to sell off the oil of Venezuela to America. So much the Nobel Peace Prize. That's another joke. But people like that are being seen as the people of Venezuela, whereas people like the non-white looking ones and the poor ones living in the barrios, they're not considered the people, they're considered the rabble. There's a lot more of them, and they're out in the streets screaming about this. So don't give me this shite about democracy and drug trafficking. There's more fucking drug trafficking working for the CIA than the drug traffickers working for the CIA than there are working against them. So fuck off with that shit. It's all projection. I just hope, like I say, that the people of Venezuela do some rising up, and I hope the fucking American people actually finally work out what's going on. They're slowly starting to, but I wish they'd stop just going to the Democrats or Zoran Mamdani and AOC. AOC, by the way, supported the fascist coup against Evo Morales in Bolivia back in 2019. So fuck off with that, with all of that squad crowd. Stop tailing fucking bourgeois leftists. That's what they are. They're reformists. They're not socialists. Peshkele, I've rambled on here on long enough now, and I'm trying to not be a depressed individual, but it's what's to be happy about. I just hope people are starting to wake up, get involved if you can. I mean, the British left organizations are a joke, but yeah, if you want to infiltrate one and try and turn it more leftwards or collaborate with people and try and radicalize people, do that. Give to homeless people. Volunteer at a food bank, donate to a food bank if you can, and don't belittle people who don't have a job and accuse them of being Farage's lackeys, because not all of them are. So anyway, with that, I'll say solidarity to the people of Venezuela. Fuck capitalism, fuck imperialism, fuck racism, fuck misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, and all of the bullshit and the pinkwashing that tries to hijack all of these marginalized groups to further use soft imperialism. Look at Israel, for example. Fuck all of it. Fuck the EU, fuck the UK, fuck NATO, and fuck the USA. Down with capitalism. Slán go fóla agus ganairi and borhal a charjack as a camarada and solidarity with the people of Venezuela. Slán.